Hey everybody, this is Al here. Welcome back to another episode of Water Not Included. In this upcoming episode, it's just a continuation of me working away at the Somnium Synthesizer. And I apologize for the last video, or it was 2 videos ago. I believe it was episode 20, where I posted it, and for some reason my 1-minute intro that I do at the start of the videos I edit was blacked out and missing, so the first minute is just a black screen with no one saying anything, and of course whatever words of wisdom I had to open the video were completely lost to the void, and I just don't feel like fixing it. I'm not sure what would happen if I were to re-upload the video, like if YouTube's algorithm would not be happy about that. So I'm just gonna leave it. It's not a big deal. The view count is actually starting to climb pretty good on a lot of the videos. Like, so a couple of last episodes are getting up over 100 views just naturally without me trying to promo them, or I didn't make any posts or guides lately to Reddit, to the subreddit for Oxygen Not Included. So I guess the growth is starting to happen. 28 subscribers still, which is fantastic. Still, obviously I'll be happy when I hit 30, and then I'll be thinking about, okay, 40 or 50 and so on. So it is starting to grow, and I used to get like within the first 24 hours like 2 views on my videos, and now I'm getting like 30 or 40, and they seem to be propelling forward. So I hope people are enjoying the content. I do try to listen to feedback that people give me on them, but as far as things go, I'm just going to keep pressing forward. I'm not sure when I'm ever going to finish this sort of Let's Play. We're up to like, I've got enough stuff recorded probably for another 3 videos that I need to edit up and get caught up on. But I am working every day on trying to get caught up. But in all honesty, when I think about all the whole goal of this entire thing was to do every quest, every achievement. I haven't even started. I haven't even found the tree for Isoresin yet. And I certainly haven't found some of the far-reaching planets. So I have a feeling this thing's going to go for a lot of episodes before I do every single achievement and every quest in the entire game. But that's fine, because I'm having fun doing it. I'm learning a lot. I'm enjoying playing. I'm enjoying making videos. And this is one of the most fun bases I've ever made in all the time I've played this game. And I've really gotten deep into a lot of new systems that I'd never explored before. So I'm having a blast with it. But I am looking forward to one day finally completing it, and then thinking about what should my next step be. And I don't know, will I start another Oxygen Not Included challenge type play run, or will I change to a different game and like RimWorld or something like that. I've played all those other games. I'm an avid gamer. I really like games like Oxygen Not Included, RimWorld, Satisfactory. I've played a lot of The Long Dark as well. I don't know if people are familiar with that game, but it's a Canadian-made game, and I'm a Canadian, so when it came out years ago, I was really enthused about the project, and I have thousands of hours in The Long Dark, and I play it at the hardest settings possible, so that's another one that I might maybe dip into. I'm not sure. So, but really having a blast played Oxygen Not Included this go through and making these videos and stuff. So really appreciate everybody who's been supporting the channel and myself, and watching the videos and hitting the like button and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. It inspires me to keep going. With that being said, enjoy the video and the progress I've been making on the Somnium Synthesizer Dreamer's bass. So we're up to 5 of these Dreamer dupes that I've brought on board so far, other than that they have no negative traits that are going to impact the setup. They pretty much are. If they have science, I take them. Otherwise, I don't really care what their traits are. So 3 of them are sleeping right now. 2 of them are working out, and that's what they're all doing. They're just waking up, doing their basic stuff, eating some food, and then they're exercising on the wheel to get that athletic skill up as high as we can before I decide to transition them over. The other 2, which I'm going to rename eventually, but the other 2 are got private bedrooms, starting to have some showers for them, and one of them farms and the other one cooks, and any little bits of supplying they have to do. They're all locked in, so none of them have access. Only my Atmosuit dupes that I have working on the rockets. They're the ones who are running around doing everything. Everybody within here is just confined, slowly cleaning up, any polluted oxygen and gases. We're just trying to get rid of it all very slowly to get more of a pure environment. This system is seeming to kick in. I'm monitoring this very carefully as to how it's working. I don't want to use these. I've decided I don't want to use the geotuners in this position. I'm going to rebuild them here so that one of these guys can handle the geotuning. They do require bleach stones. Not sure how I'm going to handle the bleach stones in a clean environment, but very likely I'm going to have to make some kind of hopper and some automation to feed these things. And as far as getting the gold to them, we'll be shipping that in from the other planets. And probably just build up like a large container full of the necessary materials, again with automation to feed into it and stuff. So I'll wire that in later. For now, we're just going to manually feed them. I have a bunch of bleach stones sitting right here, so we'll use it. At the same time, I'm going to be careful about gauging these. It's pretty easy to understand. This is all reserve water, right, on top of what this is making. I'm trying to make as much as I can. Plus I have a bunch this I'll leave just for the pump, but I'll drain a lot of this out and transfer it into here. As well as the bathroom water will slowly accumulate. As you can see, we've already got 726 kilograms of it. That's the kind of the odd thing about the looping. When you build one of these, an enclosed looping system for bathroom water is they actually generate slightly more than they use. So this is a water positive system. And then that can just be further utilized into the water. So it's about measuring the water use. So what will water be needed for? It will be needed to feed all the bristle blossoms, as well as to fuel the electrolyzers. And I did the math on this, as I said before, and it comes up short. So I believe full out, when the whole base is populated with the food, this should start to decrease in level. But we're going to have to watch that to be sure. Now, it isn't doing it right now, because what we have to do is get through the dormant period, and that dormancy is coming. So the dormancy will cause this to fall quite a bit. By the time I get to that and see how much we come up short, and then when it starts up again, I will then measure, is it going up or down. And if it goes down, I'll add a geotuner. If it starts to go up past that point, then I'll just keep it to one. If it still goes down, then I'll have to turn on the second one. So it's all experimentation right now, but certainly we have enough water reserve that we can try and work that out before it would ever cause this to falter. Because if it ever falters, then everyone here is going to die. And it'll be very difficult to deal with that. I mean, I will if it happens, but I don't want to get there. So basically, we're trying to run this system as tight as possible so that it doesn't falter. And what happens is it just maintains itself, and a couple inputs will maybe be required, but we'll just use rockets or the space interplanetary delivery system to send what they need into the system. In order to just automate it as much as possible, because if I'm going to build this, I really want to just set it up and forget about it. So hopefully I can get it working and it works good and I can test it, because then I think I will have learned everything there is to know about the Somnium Synthesizer, and I'll be able to make a guide on the entire thing, how it functions, how it works, all the little tricks about it, and how you can set up a perpetual system like I have, where you can just set it all up, have a remote colony that self-sustains, and you get the buff all the time. Because a lot of people say, oh, this is not worth it. Yeah, because they're trying to do it with their existing dupes, and it's not worth it to have -8 athletics on 30 members of your colony, because it literally would take about 30 members if you were just doing it on the normal sleep cycle. And there's no automation to it, so then you have to hand deliver all those journals all the time. Now, we're going to have to do it anyways, but the way that you want to approach this, and I think it's what Klee intended when they made it so difficult to keep it up and running, is that you do set up a labor sleep system that's self-contained, like you would build any other extensive systems that we get into. They don't want it to be easy, and if you look at what the buff grants, it's a lot. It's a serious buff, and it's colony-wide. So I can't think of anything in the game that gives you as much overall uptick in power as what this does. Do you need that power? Maybe not. Do you want it? I sure do. So that's why I'm approaching it this way. And if I can get this set up and automated, then that'll be an excellent system. And also, people might say, well, why bother? Why bother with this? You've already gone so far in the game, et cetera, et cetera. It's because it's there. It exists, right? That's what this game is about. It's about doing things. This game would be boring if you just said, okay, I'm going to make a base that self-sustains and everyone is okay and I'll never die. Yeah, you can do that. Just set up bristle blossoms, some cooling systems, simple beds, keep their morale, and away you go, and you're done. You don't have to do anything else, right? We all know how to do that. The idea of playing this game is the fun in it is creating a system like this and making it look good and making it that it actually operates. To me, that's the fun in the game. So that's why I'm doing it. It gives me a focal point of something to achieve. So that's just my thoughts on doing these kinds of things. So anyways, as we can see, as I was saying, my main dupes are here with their rockets. They're living out. They run in and out. They take care of things. But all these guys are on a very strict program, which is to exercise and get those athletics up. And as soon as the game state unpauses, we can have a look. So you see some of them are slower than the others because depending on what number they are. And that's what we're seeing just happen there is, and I'm going to show everyone, I really think this is done poorly in the code. So schedule. Okay, let's go down and have a look. Right, so they're on that. What we just saw there was those guys, okay, running through, because here's number 1, 2, 3, number 4, 5. It's just bath time. Bath time says if you don't have anything to do, then go to work, right? So what happened was they used the bath time, they went to work, and then during it, they hit the downtime and they stopped. So first of all, bath time and downtime achieved the exact same result. The only reason for bath time is if you had it, like it should be set up like this, okay? You should have downtime here and bath time here. So in other words, they wake up and they have their downtime and they will go use the bathroom and eat and do all the things they want to do until they hit here, okay? And then maybe when they're all finished, they will head to work. The thing is though, when they wake up, the first thing they always do is go to the bathroom if they're on a regular cycle, right? So bath time is actually kind of, I mean, it has its case uses in specific situations, but given that they will use the bathroom whenever they need it, and if you're not having them shower and stuff, it's almost, you don't want it, because the question is, do you want them to go to work? So if you're going to do this, like you could do 2 bath times, etc. I'm not sure if they'll eat during bath time, but you don't need it because they'll use the bathroom no matter what. They'll use it during work schedule. They'll wake up when they're sleeping and go use it if they have to, right? If they have to use the bathroom, they will go. So you don't really need bath time. So really the way to set it up is just give them 2 slots of downtime. They'll do everything they need to do. They'll eat, they'll go to the bathroom and everything, and they'll finish out their downtime period, and then they will go to work. So I mean, I guess you could do it like this, so that they may go to work a bit earlier. And I think I'm going to try that just to see that if that works, that they will wake up and get everything done and they just go, like the second packet, they'll be about, here and they'll finish and then they'll go to work. So I think I'm going to try that out and see if that works better. But definitely putting the bath time before a break is the incorrect way to do things. And I bet on my other scheduling, you see I've got the same thing going on, right? Where it's like, there's the bath times in precedence. So they'll actually run off to do something and then come back for their downtime. So in these cases with these guys, I almost just want to do this. And I'm only doing that to get the 4 buff. They get everything done always that they need to. So same thing here. I'm going to try that out. I think that's a better way to do it. I really wish that bath time was structured a little bit differently. Like to me, bath time should work like they will use their bath stuff if they need to, but otherwise it's still a break. Like it's not like go to work, but maybe it's just, again, like if you tail it, it'll do that. So a little confusing how that actually is supposed to function, but we'll leave it like that. I'm picking up some food poisoning. I'm not quite sure. I think it's because of this. I need to set this to polluted oxygen, or no, sorry, polluted dirt and garbage, rot pile, polluted dirt. Okay, no manual use. So the sweeper will sweep it and put it up to here. And the reason we do that, this is my garbage disposal system. This is everybody should just use these as garbage disposal. You put these in here. Doesn't matter how many creatures, put an eye on that. And then I have one waiting up here. At least I did. Yeah, there he is. So we need to grab him. So the way this system works is any rotted food or polluted dirt that happens to drop out in the kitchen area, this covers pretty much anywhere there would be any, will get loaded into here and fed into this. Poke shells, when they eat food, okay, they eat polluted dirt and rot piles. The shells, when they die, can be crushed into lime. However, they excrete sand, okay? So this becomes an excellent source of sand for a variety of things. Because they're going to lay eggs, like they're wild, so they'll lay one egg every time before they die. So I just turn off the doors to here, and eventually I wire a shipping system in here that will pick up the sand and other stuff and drop it outside. So then the dupes will never go in here. So this can be back to 9. And so these guys will just be your garbage disposal system, and from every bit of garbage they dispose, they'll create sand for you, as well as they'll slowly make their molts, which you can turn into lime if you want to. But the main thing is they eat something, they excrete sand. It becomes a renewable source of sand, which is just basically for your deodorizers if you need to have them. I always have them around the base because whenever there's a little bit of an accident or anything like that, there can be some junk. So I think they were getting food poisoning simply because we had rotten foods in here. I'm not sure if that's transference will work like that or not, but there was some reason why they were getting food poisoning, and we'll have to see if that goes on. There's also some slime lung. I got a bunch of slime lung rolling around. That's why I got so many deodorizers planted everywhere. I'm slowly trying to get rid of all the polluted oxygen, because polluted oxygen carries this slime lung, but as soon as you kill it off, it dies in normal oxygen very fast. So it's quite, slime lung used to be, many years ago when I played it used to be such a serious thing. It was so threatening, and we would do everything. It was almost felt like it was one of the most important things was dealing with slime lung. Now it's just like throw down your diffusers, dig through all the slime areas, let this stuff just rage on and just kill it all off, because I've never noticed dupes to really care if they get slime lung, and after they stop getting exposed to it, it just wears off. So to me, it's like one of the least serious threats, and I think new players often approach it like it's so deadly and it's so awful. I can't even think of a time where I gave any thought to if there's slime lung floating around. To me, it's always like, oh, there's polluted oxygen, get rid of the polluted oxygen. But it's never even in consideration like, oh, that polluted oxygen has slime lung in it. Oh, no, get rid of the polluted oxygen. Unless you're using polluted oxygen for some reason to fuel your dupes breathing ability, which again, just use deodorizers. Why would you not just clean it? These things are so cheap to run for power and so cheap to run on sand why would you ever have polluted oxygen in your base whatsoever? And polluted oxygen converts to oxygen when you clean it. So slime lung, polluted oxygen, just clear it all out with using deodorizers. Just sprinkle them around. Again, they use 5 power, right? I always just plant them, and I know how they work. They will clean 2 tiles up, 2 tiles left, 2 tiles right, 2 tiles below. So you can just sort of strategically plant them. And people always ask, like, why do you have these vents here? Well, it's so it can clean 2 tiles down. It can clean 2 tiles down. So this one gets these 2 tiles, this one gets these 2 tiles. No polluted oxygen within the system will last. It will all get cleaned out if you have it set up that way. I don't have one here for now because there's a lot of nasty stuff just slowly floating over here to get vented out. And even though that's a very slow way to do it, it will over time. It will all filter through and clear out. Now, yeah, I could be doing it from over here because this gas likes to move right rather than left, but I don't care if it's over here to the right. All I care about is when it starts to encroach upon my base that it gets filtered out. So maybe later I'll put another pump here and run it a line over and just vent it out faster. Eventually the goal is to have, of course, this completely cleared out and then have some kind of carbon dioxide removal system, even if it is just pumps. But there is other ways to do it that can clean it as well. So different systems. No, we'll figure that out. So anyways, this has come along quite nicely. And you can see all of them are exercising away. And how are we doing athletics? So skills, athletics 5, natural 5, 4. You can see by the pattern of how I took them in. This one actually is up to 5. He has more science built in, perhaps. Or no, he has a buff, Sparkle Flattered. So he's at 0 because he's the newest one. Yeah. This one is at 3, natural 3, which makes sense. He's the third one. And this one is at a natural, I would assume, 2. Yeah, so it's like literally they've all been picking up in a static pattern because I took them in order almost as they've been coming. So need one more, but I'm not going to be too quick to that because I don't want to push the food too far to the limit. I want to make sure that the food system is perfectly functioning. It should be. I have more than enough for the number of dupes that are eating off the gristle blossoms, and I've got this all staggered, so it's growing in a kind of a relatively equal pattern, and then the blossom be made away. So I better remember to take that guy's access off. And also too, when I have a closed system like this, I always have one door. Okay, you can see right here. There's one door here that what I will do, now I haven't, I don't know why it's set up this way. It shouldn't be. Oh no, it is. It's set up right. So for all the people who are locked out, they still have one-way access back in. That's just in case for any stupid reason somehow one of them gets outside. They shouldn't be able to, but strange things can happen in this game, and even like you can go and say, oh, I need to let one guy out to do a little bit of something, now I want to close it off. Well, if they're still outside, they will eventually come back in through that one way so that they don't end up getting stuck outside and having problems. The first one here, number 1, we have gotten his athletics up to a total of 8 natural. 4 then from the skill changeover. I scrubbed them just for a test. And then the nodding off is giving him a -8 for wearing pajamas. And so what that means is that he has an athletics of 4, which is not that great. And then the test here that I've been doing is to see how quickly can he, during his sleep, if you look at his schedule, right, he's got all sleep, is what can he achieve in these 2 cycles? Because all he does is gets up, uses the bathroom. Right now he runs up and grabs some food, and then he goes and eats it, and then he goes back to sleep. But it takes 4 cycles, almost just a little bit more than 4 cycles currently, for him to do all that. So now we have to start thinking of ways we can reduce that, because ideally we have it under to just 2 cycles. That's the goal based on the math for 6 dupes doing it. So there's a number of ideas I have, which is number 1, to install lights in here with sensors that will activate when it detects a duplicate in order to make them use this faster. Secondly is to change these tiles and to improve increased run speed. Thirdly, another one I thought of was to create another bathroom for them. They're all going to be on separate cycles, so only one will be awake at a time, with just 1 stall, 1 sink, and that will just reduce the movement time, because right now they could run, they have to run this far. If I make a different bathroom system for them, basically change this around because I don't need this much. But if I just do a solo bathroom, then they have less they have to move. The other is to have the food delivered into this room so that it's basically just dropping here, and I just use a control system to meter out the food, so there would always be 2,000 kcals sitting here for whenever one comes, or 1,000, whatever they need. 1,000, I believe it. Will come in and be able to grab it right away and then eat right away. So that's another thing to shorten the time, as well as to make this all run speed tiles. Plastic ladders for wherever they're going to travel will be another thing, and lights in here to increase how fast they eat. So I'm actually going to do a bunch of stuff like that and sort of then run, because I saved the game before I switched them over. So I'm just going to let them go back to doing athletics. The problem is once they hit 8 athletics, it starts to get pretty slow for their speed, the gains on the speed. So I mean, obviously if athletics is going to keep on increasing, I'll just keep working them until I hit the numbers I want. But I want to run some tests and see how close I can get by redoing this to maximize how quickly he can get everything done. As you watch, he'll go, he's just doing it right now. So there he is in the washroom, and you can see the washroom, just running from getting up to the washroom, almost a packet and a half, right? So getting everything done in 2 cycles is pretty optimistic. So he just starts eating into this one, and it'll take him pretty much, because he's they eat twice as much a day. It'll take him more or less 2 packets to finish eating. So, but I think with a bunch of those improvements, especially if I can get it down to just 3, because I can certainly have the other 2 guys who are doing all the cooking and planting. I'm pretty sure they could sleep a bit longer and be wearing pajamas because they're highly trained, and add the little bit of extra I might need. So but you can see he wasn't back to sleep until the 4th packet. So right now we're achieving 4 packets in the current system. Want to get that down to 3. Okay, so we're definitely progressing along. Got a lot of work done. Everyone's still exercising because until I've discovered something. The quest to learn about the Somnium Synthesizer continues. This thing takes 500 grams per second of oxygen. Where is it? Anyways, it does. It takes 500 grams per second. That is a lot of oxygen. It's about the equivalent of what 5 dupes will breathe, and it has to get that constantly, or else it will shut down and the buff will vanish. So basically we have to start to think about that. So I'm wiring up another oxygen creation system. This one is, I did a bunch of research, looked at a bunch of designs, and this one has like 100% throughput uptime, which is awesome. I think that I'm going to go with this one. It really maximizes out. Now, it's not powerless, okay? It is powered. Certainly the hydrogen it generates will be used towards trying to help power it, but it will not be enough. So I'm planning to use some of the offload from this one, because this one keeps on building up. So I'm going to use the offload from this one in order to help power it, and then if I have to, I'll run more from the grid onto it. But I'm going to see if maybe the offload plus what it generates is enough to keep it rolling. Because what will happen is these 2 systems will be producing more oxygen than I actually need, so therefore they're not going to run 100%. So I think that this one is an auxiliary, which I'll feed in to the main one. Like it'll help, it will supplement it. I believe that this whole system will be enough to power everything on its own. And so once we get all that built up, test it, we will see. But now we'll be producing what theoretically should be, this one pumps at 1,000, should do 1,000 grams per second at max, and this one should do even more than that because it has 3. So it should theoretically could do 1,500 grams per second. So that's way more than what the 8 dupes plus the Somnium Synthesizer will need. So that is all being hooked up. It seems like every time I think I'm close to being finished on this design and can start to get it activated, that I find another thing that needs to be tweaked. We're also changing around the bathroom design. Ultimately, the Dreamer dupes are going to use this one, and I'm not sure if I'll keep this one here or not. I may end up rejigging things a little bit, but this will be for the Dreamer dupes. This one will be for my other guys who are in different schedules. All the Dreamers will be in separate schedules. They only need 1 bathroom. I will ultimately tear this out, and then I put in the metal tiles everywhere so that their run speed is increased, a plastic ladder, and I've already, with the tests I did earlier, I was getting down to about 3 1/4 packets of time for the Dreamer dupe to run around and do his stuff. So considering all this that I've added now, it should even be less than that, because that was just by putting a light in that I'm saving half an hour by having a light. So got lights on the mess halls and everything like that, so it's all faster. So I think with all those changes and really limiting where they can go, and they don't really go anywhere else. They wake up, they use the washroom, and they eat food, and then they go back to sleep. As well as we will get a delivery system wired into here so that we'll just put the fridge in this room and have it load out of there, or we will literally have a delivery system that will drop time to their schedules, the food, and so that there will just always be the food ready here, so they won't even have to run up and grab the food. They will just go from the washroom straight to eat and then straight back to bed. Make it as tight as possible and try and get it so that it's as close to only 2 packets of time are being used by them. And then if 6 dupes is not enough, then I will put these guys in pajamas and see about their sleep cycle, just to be adding just that little bit of an edge to get it where I'm producing slightly more dream journals than this thing will require to take. So pretty sure that this setup is going to work, and when I've fully finished everything, it will just require these dupes to exist here. The one dupe does have the ability to use the geoturners, so that I will be able to do that. We do have an issue going on here with the because this is shut down with the bleach stones. It's someone's dropped one or something like that. I'm not entirely sure why that has occurred, but it's no good unless I airlock this or whatever. But I've got to deal with this. I don't want that eventing here. That's absolutely no good. So we're going to tell them to sweep that immediately, and they'll run off and put it somewhere else. So I think what's happened is, because these are deactivated, likely a bleach stone tried to attempt to go into it. Anyways, I'm not sure. I'll clear it up and I'll try and figure out what's going on. Also could have been a dupe was trying to deliver it and dropped it on the ground. So that's why I want this to be an automated delivery system. The dupes don't actually do that. They'll just come in and use the geoturner. When it's all set up, the dupes will not have access to bleach stone, so they won't be able to try and deliver it. It'll always have to come from this system. So these are going to be necessary in order to produce enough water, as you can see, because we're in a dormancy state and it's still for another 34 cycles. We're starting to bleed through the water. That's fine. We expect that to happen, where we will bleed through our buffer, and then once this activates, we should be gaining back water. So as long as we just don't run out of water ever for the system, we'll be fine. So I'm glad I had a lot of backup water for the first cycle, that I was smart about how I prepared that. Just cleaning things up in general too, like having all this laying around actually contributes to the performance of the game. The reason why I can have so much going on is, number one, I have a fairly powerful computer, and I have like 128 gigs of RAM, which is a lot. Most people get by on 16 to 32, but I like having lots of RAM, and I find that I can have lots of windows open then if I want to. And certainly this game runs very good with the computer I have and the RAM I have. But cleaning up your base is the number one way to increase performance. So I'm always just trying consistently to clean up areas, and I will eventually have this more or less cleaned out and cleaned up so that it's running smoothly. So other than that, we're trying to continue to clear all this stuff out. I had made this powerless filter system here because I was making a video about it, and then I decided just to leave it here and add it to my venting the space system. But I don't want the oxygen to pop out here like in the video. I need it to sort of go over here and help push everything along so I can clean it out. I should have built it over in this corner, but I don't feel like changing it around right now. It's not that important. This will eventually all just exhaust out, and we will have nothing in the base left sometime in the future other than oxygen. A lot of this is polluted oxygen. Just need to put some filters, some diffusers down, clean it all up. But yeah, eventually I will just have this, we'll get rid of all this stuff, and all that will be left in the entire base will be oxygen. Got some heating issues up here that have to be taken care of. Not a problem because the natural gas generator has been going. We've isolated it off, and we are more or less trying to clear out all the garbage from it. So there's a lot of little maintenance things and tinkerings that have to be done in order to get the system fully operational. Been shipping steel over like crazy from the other planet so that I can start to, change things over. But like, this is made of steel. Now, why did it break? You never know. Was it because of heat? I don't believe so. In fact, it was probably from getting bad packets. So I'm sure that somehow, yes, you see, there's a little bit of polluted oxygen because this system has never fully vented out. There's a liquid phosphorus that might be leaking in there. It seems like the seal, the airlock is broken that I had here, so, which I don't need. I just need to bridge this off and keep this all complete. You see there's a packet of oxygen here, polluted oxygen. That stuff needs to just get out and get basically do some damage, and then we'll fix it up and so on. So anyways, things are progressing along quite nicely, getting this to the shape I want to, and honestly I believe we're very close to having a system that we're going to power this Somnium Synthesizer full time and get those buffs. Also about the buffs too is the Dreamer dupes will get that buff as well, which means they'll get an additional bonus of 5 athletics from this. So that is also going to help them once it's all powered up for them to move even faster. And they've been doing pretty good. We see we've got athletics level 10 on this guy. On this guy we've got athletics 10. This one the same, 10. They've all pretty much standardized. The amount of experience you need gets to where they all get about to the same level. So they're all at 10 now, more or less. There's one more roaming around somewhere. Yeah, this one eating here. And I think that, and it's at 11. So yeah, they're all basically getting the athletics as high as possible before I turn it on. That's a critical part of the whole build, is to get their athletics up so that they will reduce the amount of time that they spend running around. So should be hitting the diminishing returns wall on their skills though at this point. But still, the faster they can move, the more likely it is that I can do it with 8 dupes, because that's the whole plan is based on 8 dupes. I would hate that I have to add a 9th dupe. That would throw off my food systems, which I've been running it for probably 100 cycles now, and their food system, maybe 50 cycles, but their food's holding up with no issues for them. And then it would throw off my oxygen possibly. So I don't want to add another one if I don't have to, and I'm pretty sure that I won't have to do that. So that's the latest episode, and I hope that it was everything it lives up to be. As you can see, I'm progressing along nicely. Still a lot to go, and I certainly, I know there's going to be comments about some of the things that I've said in this one, and people realizing perhaps that I've made some miscalculations, specifically to the amount of water that I require. Trust me, you're going to see in the upcoming episodes that I learned the brutal fact that, yes, I need a lot more water than I anticipated. But anyways, that'll all be in the future for future as I'll explain. Really would appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. It always helps me. With that being said, have a great day and happy holidays.